Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ESA Cup Season 10, or Season X as it's called. My name is BO3, and tonight I'm accompanied by someone that you might not have seen before. His name is Travi. Good evening.
Good evening to you as well. Well, happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this one for a couple of weeks now since we've been talking about it, and yeah, ready to get stuck into things.
Yeah, so it's actually very nice to have you on board here. You have already done some other leagues here, like especially for PC, I believe it was.
Y-
But of course, today is going to be your first time here at ESA Cup, the console scene of Europe. And well,
Yeah.
today we're having a beautiful match.
Yeah, we got a bit of a, hopefully what's going to be a bit of an exciting one today. Hopefully it lasts a bit longer than the one did on Monday. We have MG Aspire versus Team SYNQ coming up today. Lovely best of three to kick off the Swiss stage for these two teams.
Mhm. Yeah, so
Yeah.
of course the Swiss stage is here. It's MG Aspire versus Team Sync. Let's quickly open up the bracket here so we actually get a nice little insight on where we are actually standing right now. Because of course we had only two matches so far: MVG versus Team 27 and Ghost Army, or RZG Ghost Army as I call these days, versus Ground Zero. And today is going to be the third match. Of course, all these matches are based on the qualifier standings. So today is number 3 from qualifiers, MG Aspire versus qualifier team number 14, that is. So still quite a bit of a difference, and which has resulted in the previous play days in two quick 2-0s. But I'm hoping, as the numbers are now getting closer and closer to each other, that the matches are going to be getting closer as well. So just let's hope that we might have a very tense and very interesting match between these two teams, and to get a bit of a better insight, Travi, on what we might expect of this match. Let's just quickly take a look here on the predictions.
And there have it. There you go. Predictions very, very one-sided, leaning towards the favour of Aspire. Now, did a little bit of homework for the broadcast. The last two times that these two teams did play each other was in the qualifiers for Season X here. And it was the first qualifier, and it was the best of one, of course. It was 7-2 in the favour of Aspire. Now, that one was on Skyscraper, so if I had to guess, we're not going to be seeing that one today. But as you can see on your screen there, 86% of the social vote goes the way of Aspire, as well as most of the production vote in their way as well. So likely very much one-sided in terms of predictions for this one. Of course, as we said, Aspire, they're the top seed at the minute, so very much going to be the favoured going into this. And yeah, so I reckon let's take a look at the map, Vito, now, see where we're going to be heading. As I said, Skyscraper was a 7-2 last time we played, so in my mind, that one's not going to be making it through. So let's see what maps we're going to be heading to today.
Yeah, let's just wait here for the map bets to come up so we can
Yeah.
actually take a quick look at it. But I believe they are on their way right now. Yeah,
There
there we
we
go.
are.
There they are. We can see them right now. Of course, we already got a bit of an ID, like a sneak peek during our qualifiers to see which maps are very popular right now in Siege. Because of
Mm.
course, it's been like 2 months since season 9 of ESA Cup, and it's so
Mm.
sometimes the priorities, the interests of teams, the comfortability with some teams do shift. But right now, we're going to be seeing Cafe Dostoevsky as the very first map picked by MG Aspire. Then we will head over to Consulate, which has been picked by Team Sync. And if it happens that both of these two teams win at least one of these two maps and we have a 1-1 score, then we'll all go down to Bank as a decider map, where then, of course, we will still have to decide which team is starting on defense or attack. But at least here we can see that both teams definitely prefer that attacking side on both these
Mhm.
two maps. So that's what they will be starting. I believe the match is almost as good as ready, so it should be
Yeah.
just a moment before we head into the game. But yeah, based on these maps, Cafe Dostoevsky, we have already seen it quite a bit here during this. I believe, actually, no, I think we have seen it every single day so far. This is the third play day of the competition. It has been picked 3 times, so that means we have seen it on Monday, we have seen it on Tuesday. It might have been decider on some of those days. I'm not entirely sure anymore. But yeah, Cafe definitely a very popular
Yeah.
map at the moment.
Very popular map, and as well, something that Sync are definitely comfortable towards, looking towards back towards that best of one. It was the last map they choose to ban. So they left it in the veto. They were quite comfortable, happily to go to it until that decider of Skyscraper hit. So very much comfortable map, I think, for Team Sync as well. Obviously, Aspire as well, leaving it open. Both of these teams are fairly comfortable on it, and hopefully it'll be a good map to sort of assess where we're at with this
Mhm.
series, see where we're going to be heading with things, and regards to really who's going to be on the stronger side. Of course, as you do say, it's going to be teams opting to start towards these attacks and
Yeah.
looking at these attacks. And the attacks of Cafe, they're very much a force of repetition Cafe, isn't it? Very much. You start at the top, you work your way down.
Yeah, so Cafe Dostoevsky, the very first map that we will be heading into, MG Aspire on the offense with Team Sync on the defense. And well, we can also already maybe do a bit of prediction here for the operator bands, what we might see. I mean, if you have taken a look at the qualifiers, again, a great source of some some nice information, but also already the first two maps. I mean, Blackbeard is almost a guaranteed operator to see, especially on a map like Café Dostoevsky, with so many windows where he can repel with his shield, can be so damn strong on those windows. It's almost, well, certain that we will see him getting banned. Another offensive operator could be Montaigne still. I mean, people are still not very happy with him, even though he did get, well, reworked quite a bit in the previous season. But what are some other offensive operators that we could potentially see here?
Oh, could potentially, as you say, I think the shields as well, just generally speaking, Blackbeard, Monty, 100% see them being taken out. They've had such oppression over the meta and really, I think, dominate. You've seen it in Six Invitational as well, how much they dominate so. But I believe I'm hearing it in my ears, right? We're almost ready to be getting into the game now. If
I believe so too, although my feed seems to have frozen actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting the audio, but so there seems to be a little bit of a technical issue here. We're getting the audio of the game already, but we're not seeing the game yet. So there's a bit of a technical issue happening, which likely is going to be resolved any minute.
I've got the game live on the clean feed.
Interesting. Okay, I'm just going to go for a little refresh then.
Yeah.
Apparently, refresh was needed. Okay, operator bands are now going live, although it's stuck for me as well.
Yeah. We've got operator line bands coming out exactly what you predicted there. Going to be getting rid of the Montaigne first one. That's going to be Team SYNQ taking the Montaigne off the board. As you said, the shield's dominant at the minute. Not a real any surprise there. That's going to be what you're going to be wanting to get rid of as your first attacking band. Second band going to be coming through. It's going to be the Grim.
There we go.
That is actually something that during that qualifier match I was talking about, that is actually something that Aspire banned out during their original match against SYNQ. They got rid of the Grim. So it's not sort of a usual ban. Must be somewhat of a target ban, and very similarly, yet again, the mirror, something that Aspire got rid of before, they're getting rid of it again. Of course, you do have some very powerful mirror positions on Cafe, so she's definitely going to be affecting the ban, but I definitely think this is one of these rosters where these two know each other. Obviously, these are a bit of target bans, and finally SYNQ, they're going to be taking rid of the Azami. Very similar bans to what we did before. The only difference between the qualifier game and this one is going to be that Montaigne instead of the Blackbeard. Fairly similar set of operators, however, of course, across the board, it's a decent lineup. It's sort of par for the course, and obviously very impactful operators that will likely be felt without their presence in the game. And you can see there Aspire picking straight on towards the Blackbeard. Obviously, we have to wait to see whether SYNQ pick, they're going to be locking it in or not. And as well, then top floor defense going to be the start choice for the side. Oh no, top floor, my bad.
Yeah,
top floor defense going to be our start.
I mean, like in the end, you need to go there anyway, so why not start there as why not start there anyway? In the end, Café Dostoevsky is one of those maps where basically every bomb site is definitely playable. The least common bomb site to be played is still the mining bomb site, but in general, every single bomb site is still perfectly playable. And that's like I really like the maps these days. You know, like I started with Rainbow Six like a very long time ago, and almost every single map had like only really 3, potentially sometimes even 2 very playable bomb sites, but the other ones were just so much more difficult. But these days, Siege is just in such a good situation where all of the maps either have been reworked or have been designed very properly, and just giving the defenders so many good options to pick from. So with this very first round, we're actually starting here, like I said, with MG Aspire on the offense, and now we're actually seeing something that I actually thought I'd seen before, like I think a day ago, but that's the advertisement there from Siege X on the wall. Like it was shown by some of the other attackers, but that's like, there's advertisements on the maps now. That's interesting.
And it's really interesting as well on build on that. They're only on a couple of the maps. I believe Chalet, Border, Clubhouse, Cafe, and there's one other as well. Can't remember at the top of my head, but there's not shown on all of the maps. So whether that's an indication as of to which maps might be seeing some changes come with Siege X possibly. You know, a lot of those are older maps. They've not been touched for a little while, even if they're just small minor touches, or perhaps graphical enhancements. You don't really know. But first flashbang is going to be coming through here solo. Caught off by it, and there's another player coming through, but he's able to get the pick towards Shimi Su. It's the first pick going the way of Team SYNQ. Unfortunately, that sort of Jackal Lurk play not really working out, and Solo still having control of Reading. Is caught out by the flashbang, but Zaka's going to continue to apply the pressure, and you can see there through the outlines on the wall, the second player's coming through, but it's Vod able to find it, and this Reading attack here is trying to be able to clear it out. It's just not working for the side of Aspire. All down to Casper, left in a 1 versus 5 now. Makes it a 1 versus 4, beautiful wall bang. But I feel like the damage for this round may have been done. We're a minute 20 in, and the attack of Aspire, it's mostly shut down now.
Yeah, that's at least a flawless run for Team SYNQ. They're denied by Casper, at least getting 1 kill here on the board. But with 1.5 minutes and still 4 players standing against him all by himself, things are still going to be extremely tricky. Yes, don't count him out yet. He's a very good player. We have seen him and his team do incredible things in the past. But it's still an extremely difficult position for him to be in. However, these are also the moments that frequently the opponents start playing very aggressively, start making mistakes, and just get a bit too greedy. So those also provide perfect opportunities here for Casper to potentially get some kills on the board. But it seems like that SYNQ so far is playing things pretty safely, and it's just awaiting Casper to make his move. And in the end, he gets found, unfolds from Small Bakery, finds the last player there from Team Aspire, and secures the kill.
Secures the kill, there you go. Fairly dominant first round there for the side of Team SYNQ. Aspire not really able to get too much into the building, as I said earlier, struggling with that roam clear, struggling to clear that single player out of reading, able to just do so much damage up there solo, and with the support of the teammates as well. I believe it was Fod coming in later on after that to come and just provide that support. Worked out really, really well for Team SYNQ and Aspire, as I say. Weren't really able to get control of the building. As a result, lost too many operators trying to do that roam clear, and unfortunately for them, they just weren't able to get the round across the board.
Yeah, and that's the very first round here going to Team SYNQ, even though so many people were putting their vote here on MG Aspire, really expecting much from them. Yes, it's only the very first round, so maybe it's too early for me to say anything in this, anything like this. But at the same time, MG Aspire, 13 from the qualifiers, they're definitely having a better reputation here compared to Team SYNQ. Like Team SYNQ was still even in that area where things were getting pretty tricky for them, pretty tense, whether they would qualify or not for this competition. But in the end, they did manage to pull through, but only barely. And, well, in general, yeah, they just haven't done as good as Team Aspire in the qualifiers. And you were already bringing it up. These two teams actually have some history, right? They did play against 100%. Each other in the qualifiers.
Yeah, in the qualifiers. And that was 7-2 going the way of Aspire. Now, if I quickly bring that match back up, that was actually, first half of that was actually on Skyscraper, and really where that one was decided was the attack inside. Aspire will be able to get attacks going on Skyscraper, which, if you know Siege, that's quite a difficult thing to do. 40 attack and half on Skyscraper, and then 3 flawless defenses. So Aspire definitely shown they can do well on the attack. That match there very much proved it, and it just didn't really seem to transpire in this first round. Of course, early days, we've got a whole best of 3 to get through, so still young. Night is still young, and anything could happen, I think.
I think it definitely happened here. The first round going to Team SYNQ, technically in the underdog here in this story. So that's a perfect move, a very good move for them, especially solo. Then gets another kill there onto Shimusu. Once again, Shimusu getting opening kills pretty early on. Fod following up by getting Kazuto as well. And once again, Team Aspire barely getting a chance to even make a proper entry into the building. As whenever they are entering, they immediately get taken care of. And this really shows that Team SYNQ is having a very strong hold on this map, on their own defense. And they're doing a great job on denying the entry from MG Aspire so far.
Yeah, and really struggling to clear this roam. And not only that, the 2 operators you've lost the Ram. That is a lot of your ability to clear vertical gone, taken off the board now. You've lost the Flores, and so early on into the round, I doubt much of that utility was used. So he's taking a lot of those Rotero drones to the grave with him. For Aspire, it's not the kind of operators you want to be losing. You still do have the hard breach on the board off the side of both Casper and Carol, who are going to be trying to salvage what this round that they can. And it's 2 kills there, answering from Aspire. Make it 3, just like that. Aspire are back in this round. Team SYNQ, they're now in the man disadvantage. It's just Fod and Nerd left in this one. Minute left on the clock for the defense to hold on to things. And it seems like we're going to have a little bit of an attempt to retake the top floor here, made from Nerd. He's going to take a drone, instead falls back down to Laundry. No C4 left in pocket either from the side of SYNQ, so they're not going to be able to make use of anything vertical. And Aspire as well, as I said earlier, they lost the Ram. They're not going to be able to open too much of that vertical. So this round's really going to come to that horizontal push. I think that's something that Team SYNQ are going to be quite comfortable playing into.
Yeah, so far things are definitely looking good for Aspire, though, as I do have a little man advantage here, but the HP is not looking too great, and the timing isn't either. Only 30 seconds remaining for Team Aspire to do what they need to do, which is either getting all of the 2 remaining kills of the Team SYNQ or getting the diffuser down. As Carol then finds a kill onto Nerd, it's now a 3 versus 1, which suddenly makes things look a lot better for them. However, if things are up to Fod, he's going to do everything in his power to prevent this plan from happening, to get some kills. He finds a first, that's Casper taken care of, but the diffuser has been planted. Timer is now ticking against him, and he does do a load of damage there onto Carol, but just not enough to actually take care of him and take him out. Now it's a 2 versus 1 situation with only 30 seconds remaining. He does find an opportunity to actually make his way to the diffuser and tries to go for a stick, but unfortunately he has to go off as he's suspecting the attackers to make a move, and they're actually making a great move. One player right behind him at the door, while the other one was making his way to the top floor, where he could watch the diffuser from above. But this way, Team Aspire secures their first round as well. And well, this is exactly what I want to see here in ESA Cup Season X. The best of the best teams playing against each other. And I want to see close games just like this, starting out with a nice 1-1 scoreline.
100%. And as the start of that round when it was Vod and Solo. They got the opener onto that round, and things were looking a bit bleak for Aspire yet again, but they didn't give up. They didn't slow down. Carol, Casper, Zaka all getting kills on the board in that round to bring things back into their favor. They got the plant down, and as you said, they played that post-plant to perfection. You had one playing horizontal, one playing vertically. Split the approach, make sure that SYNQ were unable to get the counter defuse off, and they played that end of that round to perfection. Just because they lost that opening engagement, and sure, that was a mistake that's Aspire they were not going to want to make again. Even though it was made, they were able to bounce back from that, and that's exactly what you want to see them doing, and that's what you're going to be expecting of a team that is going to be playing and progressing towards the higher ends of this tournament.
Yeah, so with this 1-1 scoreline, we're now going again back to the middle floor here for Team SYNQ, actually. I was about to say they're probably going to the top floor right now. Now, actually, they've decided to go for the middle floor, and not the same bomb site they just attempted to defend, but an entirely different one, and that was mining. Mining, I was talking about it earlier, if you remember. I was talking about that's actually one of the lesser picked bomb sites on this map. Yeah. Yes, it's still entirely perfectly playable, but most teams don't really tend to go there. They really prefer the library bomb site instead, which we have just seen, but especially the top floor, that just tends to be the most popular of all. But so far, SYNQ is not going for the bomb site at all. They are entirely sticking to the bottom floor and the middle floor, leaving the top floor completely behind.
Yeah, 100%. And something, I mean, when I think top floor on Cafe, I often think the mirror window. You've got the mirror window in the bar facing out, and Azami as well. Look towards our operator bands. Mirror and Azami taken offline. Is this a team thing, or is this a response to the operator bans from Team SYNQ? They're not comfortable to take this to the top floor because those sort of cornerstones of what you normally see from a top floor defense, neither of them are available.
You would almost say that, and it has to do with the operator bans. Just without those operators, things are becoming so much more difficult. Yes, it's still entirely possible. Like, this bomb site was being played even before those operators were introduced into the game. So yes, it's definitely still possible. But it might actually, you might actually be making a good point there that these operator bans are actually affecting the choices here of the operator of the bomb sites to be picked. But meanwhile, Shimizu is making his way into the building with Black, but he finds a very nice kill. Also, Solo almost finds a second as he spots the player, but unfortunately doesn't manage to land his shots. And as Unfalls is aware of the danger, he's able to fall back down towards Pillar, into reading back towards the bomb site. But still, attackers now have clean control here over the top floor, which they can use to put loads of pressure onto the bomb site below and make it very difficult for the defenders to defend their own bomb site and to play inside of it. So pretty good time management here from the side of MG Aspire. They also managed to at least stay alive a little bit longer this time. Not a single player of the offense has been taken care of. So far, doing a pretty good job.
Exactly so, and so much a better roam clear than before. As you say, they've got all 5 players standing, which for Aspire so far in this matchup is the first time they've done it. Cleared top floor out, not lost anything, and they can just focus on that utility game now. You can see there, Zaka getting those clutch drones through, starting to search things out, be able to take those utility, those FNAT mines on the Fenrir, as well those yokai drones. If you can actually manage to hack one of those, as we're seeing right now, it's going to be so useful if we get to post block. But I don't think Shimizu wants us to get there. Second kill in the round on this Blackbit, terrorizing the defenders of Team SYNQ. Uses a frag grenade, 4 spot out of position, gets it. Triple now in the round, 5 versus 2. This Echo here could play devil's advocate in the round, but time is against it. Kazuto gets one towards Nerd, and now it's just a 5 versus 1. The Echo is going to deny the plant, but that's going to be only momentarily. He's able to get one on the stairs with the bearing 9, and time could play the fact here. But forced down with a frag grenade, forced to run away, got no choice.
Oh, no.
Blackbeard chasing you. What can you do in this situation? This isn't where anyone wants to be in. And it's going to be closed out there. Aspire, they get a second round and looking much better as they're warming into this game.
Yeah, Blackbeard really making a difference here for this third round here of this match. An operator that we were kind of predicting to be banned on this map, but which, made it out of the ban phase and actually has to be played right now. And so far, making a huge amount of work, especially on clearing the top floor, so damn effective. But then also towards the later bit of the round, just completely denying that Echo, not giving him any chance to retake those white stairs. beautifully done here from the attacking side of Team Aspire, securing that second round, putting the score on 2-1.
And talking of the shield seems to have flipped round Aspire. Not bringing any shields just yet, just to say that. Swaps on towards Talon shield, but I'm looking towards defense here. Bottom right of your screen, folks. There is a clash on the board from Pizza, which may spice things up and may definitely going to impact how this round is going to be played a little bit here as we move to the top floor for the first time in the game.
Yeah, one of those bomb sites you generally see being picked as the very first one. So it's a bit of an interesting one. The team SYNQ hasn't gone there yet, even though we're already in the 4th round. Something you generally don't see. But after those 2 ground floor or middle floor bomb sites didn't work out for them as they were hoping to. They have now, well, rightfully decided to go to the top floor, which generally is a very effective one to be playing in. So hopefully they will find a bit more luck here and have a bit
100%.
of a better chance. Especially with the clash in play, attackers are definitely going to have a bit of struggle. And, well, yeah, they'll quite some resistance.
Definitely find some resistance from that. I suppose it's going to shake up a bit. There's nothing too much on the lineup of Aspire to directly deal with that clash. You're just going to have to be getting close, making sure that she's isolated and not able to retrieve support from her teammates, because that's when we know Clash is at her best. When she's got the teammates behind her, when she's in the favourable positions. If you can force her into a corner on her own, she's dead man walking at that point, unfortunately. Interesting enough, though, Kitchen was unlocked for this round. Kitchen should be available by now, but we're not opting to go down there. As you say, top floor for the first time being brought.
Yeah, maybe just saving the kitchen for later. Of course, again, I was going on the round right after this. And, well, in general, you just have to go here at some point anyway. At least in most cases, so they now have gone for this top floor. Meanwhile, already attackers putting up some pressure. I mean, most of them have stacked up on the top floor. First drones here from Flores going in, finding those deployable shields, doing nice of a bit of destruction, and taking away those very useful bits of utility here for the defensive side, especially the deployable shield. So very strong, especially here to defend the piano cigar lounge area, as the shield would provide a very safe cover to watch all the way into that area. Now Shimusu gets a very first kill. Yeah, it's the first kill.
They're just sprinting on in. I think I saw an outline there and I was a bit confused by that. But Shimisu's on the double. You've got a player now. It's 4 versus 3 now. Makes it a 3 versus 3 solo. Equal on both sides, but the clash is still on the board and it's going to be vital for the side of Team SYNQ here. But Kit is going down and it seems like it's going to be able to be stuck. Yes, it is Zaka. Falls. Carol gets one back, but 2 versus 2. The clash pulls out the SMG. Is going to fall, but now it's just a 1 versus 1. But is good for it. Triple on the round. Just has to find a diffuser, which will surely happen. And well, that's a round for Team SYNQ. And that one, well, that was a bit of a chaotic round, but they are able to get it over the line. And
yeah,
Team SYNQ.
That was a very interesting round here, and like that offense just found the way into the bomb side, went for the defuse. Yes, lost some lines, but also got some kills at the same time as well. Beautifully done, but then miraculously Team SYNQ managing to retake their own bomb site and go for the defuse and win the rounds. Well, as our viewers can see, one of the players has indeed left the lobby at the moment, but from what I already understood, this is going to be a very short break. The player is going to return very shortly, probably just having some technical issues and the game restart, or just reconnecting to the lobby would likely have fixed that. So we're having a bit of a break here, a bit of a pause, but in just a very short amount of time we are going to be back as back to the game, at least, as the player should already be on his way, at least that's already been confirmed to me.
Yeah, nice little opportunity to talk about what's happened as well. I mean, SYNQ, I think, compared to what the predictions would have you think, and perhaps what that qualifier match previously would have you think, this one seems like it's going to be a lot closer than we initially anticipated. Of course, as we were saying, SYNQ opted to go towards Cocktail. Kitchen is still open for them. That can be the next objective they head towards. And by that note, as we see it on the game, as we're just going to be getting back into it in a few seconds here, they're going to be going down to Kitchen, which SYNQ, they were so good at this objective last time. It was mostly down to sort of the roam clear and the failed roam clear as such from above. But at the end of the day, they were dominant on Kitchen the last time it was played, and I see no reason why they couldn't do the same thing yet again. Operator lineup, though, bringing out the Scopos.
Yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for Team SYNQ to reclaim their lead. They had won the very first round when they went to the specific bomb site. Then Team Aspire caught up at some point. But this is a very good chance for Team SYNQ to at least reclaim the lead here. Bring this round to this map to 2-3 score, which then could potentially be turned into 4 score, or it could become a 3-3 score. Either way, getting some rounds here on the board, especially on the defense, is desirable for Team SYNQ, as it will give them a little advantage whenever they go to the roll-up and play as the offensive team.
And I like this Scopos pick, to touch on it. there was so much, as I said, there was so much pressure in that first round of this idea of we need to clear the roam clear from Aspire. We need to get rid of these players on the roam. And you remember that first round, Can upstairs, and that was Solo doing so much damage upstairs to the attack of Aspire. They shut it down before it could really get started. So I've got a feeling this time around, Aspire are going to be putting a lot more emphasis on the roam clear and trying to make sure it does work this time around. It's exactly why you brought out the Scope Boss. So you can cut your losses and just head back down to the objective much safer, much quicker than you would have been able to do so on any other operator in the game. Of course, Scope Boss can just teleport right back down to the objective. Such a great sort of response to that, and they're obviously anticipating. You can see here the roam clear for Aspire. They're moving through this map quickly. Jackal coming in. Touch, you can see there, Kazuto has the ping on towards the player, and that's going to be the Scopo. Solo running around, able to get upstairs, and now is going to be caught in a bit of a difficult spot, I feel.
Yeah, this is where the attackers are needing to hunt down this last player. Of course, the Jackal is going to be very effective to do so. Also, a lot of drones coming in, but now they have located this player. He's completely trapped inside of the bathrooms, and in the end, gets found. Zaka getting killed onto Nerd, and Shimizu also getting killed onto Solo. So that's two members of Team SYNQ getting taken out almost simultaneously, leaving us with a 5 versus 3. Yes, Shimizu has taken loads of damage. He's just one shot away from getting killed very easily, but Aspire at least getting the man advantage and getting every single defender off the top floor, and now having full map control over the top floors, which they can use to put loads of pressure onto the bomb site itself.
100%. They can start to make things work now. You can see here, Shimizu going to be checking towards red stairs. We can see, I think Pete was having a little bit of a think about whether he wanted to go for that retake or not, whether they wanted to give it a go. Chose not to in the end, which I think is a wise decision. They're very difficult to retake on towards those vertical angles. But just as I say that, look at this. He's creeping back towards the second floor. Unfortunately, it is going to be caught out, though. Shimizu on the double for the round, going to close it out. Bit of an echo start on towards from Bod. But it's a 2 versus 5 now. Very difficult position for SYNQ to bring this one back from. We've seen some man counts flip so far in this game, but I just don't see it happening in this round. Both players of SYNQ cornered in sight. Their positions are known, and Carol's going to find one. Carol's going to find both, and it's a flawless for Aspire. Kitchen not proving so successful for the defense on the second go around. Aspire going to guarantee themselves the even half, and going to be looking for one more.
Indeed, Aspire now putting themselves on a 3-2 score, which is a pretty good score for them to be in. And as we're now getting some information, we're apparently going to have a rehost at this moment. There were some technical issues on the side of Team SYNQ, apparently some jitter bug, which requires a player to fully reset the system in order to resolve. So that is going to take a little bit more time, which again gives us a bit of an opportunity to talk about the game here before we head back in. But yeah, MG Aspire 3-2 lead right now.
Yeah, 3-2 leaders. I think Aspire slowly warming into this game. I think it was a bit of a rocky start for them. I think that first round was a bit of a shock to the system before then. You could definitely see they weren't expecting such resistance on that roam clear, on that second floor. They got, and then the 2 middle floors that didn't quite go the way of SYNQ. Of course, then we headed on to round number 4, where SYNQ were able to find their mojo, find their rhythm a little bit more up towards Cocktail. But on that reattempt of Kitchen, it just wasn't anywhere near successful. It was a flawless round from the side of Aspire. Really doing their bits and doing a great job of clearing the roam, forcing the players down to sight, and just working with that man advantage they had all angles covered. And as I said, there wasn't really any way SYNQ were working their way out of that one, I feel.
Yeah, so far this is by far the closest match that we have seen this season so far. So that's something that makes me incredibly happy, actually. But either way, I'm just happy that this match is so much closer already. Like, we have seen the first playday. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was 2 7-0s. It was number 60 or number 1 against number 16. So in some way, it was also potentially expected to happen. But I'm just happier. Like, now we're getting like a little bit down in the numbers. That the match is just getting so much closer, and this is already looking so much promising. Like, this can still go either way. We could easily have a 3-3 split. We could have a 4-2 split. This map could even go to overtime if they continue to be as well matched as this. Yes, Aspire is definitely a bit more on a drill right now, a bit on a roll, and has a good opportunity to secure some more rounds. But at the same time, Team Aspire, Team SYNQ, as Team SYNQ, they are not that well known. That's also because they were previously known as a different team. Like, they used to be known as Project Black X, but they left the organization. But they're definitely a team with a lot of expertise, a lot of experience. That's the word I'm looking for, and they're definitely one not to forget about. So they're definitely having some really good opportunities here.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I could definitely see this one going all the way to 3 maps. It would be nice, as you say, we've only had 2-0 so far, so it'd be nice to look. We look ahead in the future. It'd be nice to see us go all the way to 3 maps, get all the way all the way to, I believe Bank was our third map for tonight.
Yeah,
Was going to be Bank, yeah. So it'd be nice to get all the way towards Bank. Of course, each team, you know, they're going to go for their map picks and they'll try to close this out too. Now, of course, that will favour you in any regard. Obviously, the less you show, the more you can save going on towards the end of the tournament and such.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a win is a win.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but at the same time, it's also something that's more expected to happen, especially in this part of the competition. Like, yes, first of all, it's Swiss stage, so the whole Swiss system is one big sorting system, you know, like where winners get teamed up against winners and losers get teamed up against losers or matched up against losers. So in a way, like, yeah, like the more rounds we get, the closer things should get. But it's also because of the whole tiebreaker system that we have, like with the seeding of the qualifiers also being a thing where number 1 plays against number 16. So like whenever we are like next week, we will have the match of number 8 against number 9. That's when like we technically should have the closest match based on qualifier standings. But this is only going to get closer and closer and closer. But then also once we go into those later rounds, it's only going to get better. And we had the exact same format previous season, and it was such a treat. We had so many close matches, especially also later on those elimination matches, starting from round 3 low. We also have like the unlimited overtime being a thing. It also happened a few times last season, and the matches were just so incredibly close.
Yeah. Can imagine it as you go further in this, it just gets so competitive and so close. That's really, and I think when it becomes do or die, that's when you start to see the best of these teams come out. Because at that point, if you're not showing everything you've got on that given day and you lose, what have you been keeping these strategies hidden away for? You know, you have to be showing them. But we're still early on. This should be a comfortable 2-0 for Aspire by law of seeding. This should be quite comfortable for Aspire. Just going to be heading back into the game now. We are back in towards the final round of our first half here on our first map. As we said, 3-2 lead for Aspire. Warming themselves into this one quite comfortably.
Yeah, the 3-3, what makes sense with language? Just for a 3-2 scorer here, a fairly short rehost, which I'm very happy with. We're just getting we're able to resume the game fairly quickly. The 6th round, the very last round before we see the roll swap happen. So just one more round here for Team SYNQ on the defense, one more round for Team Aspire here on the offense. For both teams, these rolls seem to be working fairly well. Just a big question, what kind of scoring you will see for the 6th round? Will there be a team with an advantage of 2 rounds, or will it be completely equal at 3-3?
100%. And one that's interesting to me, look towards the operator picks, perhaps, is this going to be this Maestro pick we're watching right now on VOD? One thing Aspire have been clinging to a lot in this half is the Flores, is the Brava pick, and you can see there, bottom left of your screen, 6th pick, Zaka, going to be switching towards the Brava now. One of the biggest counters for this Maestro is going to be that Brava, is going to be that Clutch Drone, because not only do you take the utility from the defending team, you then convert it into something of your own, something that you can use, and oh, we might be getting a bit spicy, we might be seeing a Swarm peak here.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Nope, never mind.
Yeah, you don't see those every day anymore. Like back in the days, those were so incredibly common. But after they changed some maps to have safer spawns and everything, you don't see that much anymore. But if you see it, if it works, it's always such a good thing to have to see. Like it's so beautiful. It really throws players off. Yeah, 13th of March 2025. That's when the new Season X or Siege X is going to be announced or going to be shown off. And so I'm extremely curious. It's really cool that they are putting these kind of advertisements in the game. Like I've never seen anything like that here in Siege, and they could technically do with so many things. Like if a new elite operator skin gets released or some pro skin sets, they could literally advertise them like this in the game, which would actually
100%.
would be such a good opportunity for them.
It would be, and I don't know if you've played Counter-Strike, but in Counter-Strike they have a lot of these iconic Pro League moments immortalized on the game in graffiti by where that happened.
Wow.
I'd love to see something like that in Siege. You know, now they've got this graffiti. I mean, of course we have that little Kickstar plaque on plane towards where he got that infamous ace way back in the day, if you remember that one. More stuff like that would be awesome to have in Siege. These really iconic Pro League moments immortalized in the game. That'd be awesome to see.
Yeah, that would be such a cool thing. I think, like with this, they're now finally realizing that this is an opportunity for them. So it will be a really cool thing for Siege here to utilize. But right now it's 1 minute and 35 seconds only remaining on the clock. And I don't think we have at any moment where every operator was still full HP at this point in the game. Like not a single kill, not a single bit of damage to be dealt. Like yes, it will likely start happening soon as players are getting so much closer to each other. You can already see it there because you're getting ready along White Hallway where Solo is waiting as the Goyo player, just waiting for any attacker to get around the corner and do some damage there. But for now, attackers are just staying away from those defenders. And well, not much happening.
No, they're not challenging where I suppose they don't need to. They don't need to challenge these defenders just yet. They'll obviously have to watch the angles to make sure no one tries to retake that top floor. But if there's two players still up on the top floor for the defense, they're more than happy to let them stay there. So Lolo is going to be the first one to fall. Opening pick going towards the way of Aspire. And now Unfall's going to be in a bit of a precarious position here. He's able to get a pick onto Casper and makes it a second onto Kazuto as well. Man advantage flips the other way now. Aspire on the back pedal. 45 seconds left in the round. Team SYNQ. They've got the advantage. They've still got a player on the top floor, but not for long. Shimizu closes out, and here come the boogie drones. They can start to get to work. Vertical's going to be left wide open for the attacking team to make use of here. But those Evil Eyes, they're still standing. You saw there earlier in the round. But hidden down below in Freezer is going to be trying to make use of those. Zaka's going to fall towards Nerd and White Stairs, and I've got a feeling this one may be going towards the way of Team SYNQ. Shotgun as well on White Stairs. MG Aspire, they've got 15 seconds there. They've not got long. Red pings as well. SYNQ have all the intel, time on their side, man advantage on their side. This one, it's going to be very difficult for the side of Aspire to get this over the line. Clock ticks down. They're going to have to attempt to defuse. No choice about it. And here comes the swing round. Pizza are going to be spraying on in. As well, here comes Nerd. There you go. Caught in a cross, but they're able to make it work. Shimizu gets the pick 2 versus 2.
No
and the
way.
side of SYNQ, they're falling apart. I said they wouldn't be able to lose this one.
No
but that's
way.
exactly what's going to happen. Carroll with a double. And well, Aspire, they get a 4-2 half.
The whole setup of Team SYNQ was actually so good. The whole idea was so good. The execution just was not the way they were hoping it to go. Like they had probably like an evil eye or something in the bomb side, maybe even the Valkyrie cam or anything. But they were just really hoping that the plan would go down, that they would easily be able to look at this player, the other player on the cover, also easy to take care of, and they would easily be able to retake their own bomb side and even prevent the plan from happening in the first place. But in the end, they just didn't manage to secure the first kills on the first attempts, which is very unfortunate. And then they even had to retake their own bomb side after they lost a player, and the defuse was planted. So Team Aspire also having the full manpower as well. Very unfortunate here for Team SYNQ. Good attempts, just unfortunately lacking on execution a little bit there. Just yeah, very unfortunate.
That 100% should have been a Team SYNQ round, and I think that will come to bite them and punish them a little bit as we head later in towards this game. You know, a 4-2, it's very different, I feel, from a 3-3 and an even half. You look at it, you've got 2 rounds to catch up on versus you're on equal footings, and now Aspire, they can move towards the defense, which the last time these two teams played, only 3 rounds of the second defensive half were required, and Aspire won all 3 of them. But you say that, no, I say that, the last 2 times these two teams played, it was obviously a very, very different story. It was dominance, and while there may be a bit of distance between these two teams at the minute, I've got a feeling that distance isn't going to last for long, and things are going to tighten up as we move in towards the second half.
Yeah, the second half is really going to tell us how this map is going to continue for now. Of course, the offense suited MG Aspire well, but now they're playing on the defense. Will it work as well for them as the offense did, or will they now start to struggle? And will the side of SYNQ also start benefiting from that offense? I mean, if we see a similar score, we will see a 6-6 happen, and we will go to overtime for the very first time, I believe, for this competition or for the season. But for now, yes, of course, it remains to be seen. Once again, the members of SYNQ making quick control over the top floor, getting ready in the right positions to potentially make a very early move already. First bolts from Capital already going out, so this might actually be a signal that we do see a move happening. Because Zuto with the very first kill, taking out Solo, that's the first attacker losing his life. It's starting going down to 3 kills actually here from the side of Team SYNQ right now, bringing us to a 2 versus 4 man count. Very much in the favor here of the offensive side, where only Zaka and Carol are the ones left. Standing fighting together onto Unfalls, brings us to the 2 versus 3. Defenders slowly catching up here with the attackers, but Pizza then gets a kill onto Zaka. It's all coming out to Carol, who almost got a kill, but Pizza with the final kill secures the very first offensive round for Team SYNQ, and helps them to catch up a little bit. 4-3 scoreline.
Got a little bit messy towards the middle of that, but I like the idea from Team SYNQ. It was aggressive, it was decisive. They saw the opportunity there to just storm the objective, try and isolate the defenders and restrict their movement with those asphyxiating bolts from the Capital. Beautiful play there, really, from Team SYNQ, and that was a great showing from them of what they're capable of on these attacks. They've done a little bit of homework since last time, and it worked wonders for them in the first round. Now, I don't think quite such aggression will be rewarded yet again, but Team SYNQ's operator lineup suggests otherwise. They're going to be going for it again, I feel. Very execute-heavy lineup. Of course, Capital, Ying, Blackbeard, Reem, brought yet again. Going to be swapping off the line, though, on towards the striker pick. For the side of Aspire, it's, I'd say, a fairly standard lineup for this objective.
It's a fairly standard one, which of course is totally fine. You know, like this is a bomb site that they have played so many times, and these operators totally work. This is like one of those bomb sites we have seen being played by SYNQ as well, but it's like one of those bomb sites where, from the way of the setup here from Team Aspire, it seems like they're definitely gonna integrate this top floor into their own defense, and this makes total sense. I've said it so many times. In the hands of the attackers, this top floor is so extremely strong, as the attackers of course can use it to, well, put loads of pressure onto the bomb site below, but at the same time the defenders can use it to defend their own bomb site as well. So this top floor is absolutely the key to the defense here, or to the bomb site for both the offense and the defense. And just holding this top floor, keeping it in your control, and keeping it out of the control of your opponent is absolutely necessary.
100%. You need to just make sure, as a defender, perhaps not even staying up there all round, because that's very unlikely with the full might of the attacking team, and obviously bomb site below, so you'll have teammates below. You're not going to be able to stay up there. It's about wasting time. It's about sort of really burning that kind of utility that's sort of touched on in the first half. A lot of the top floor positions, they're made powerful by operators. Miro and Azami banned out in this time up, so I've got a feeling the defenders of MG Aspire, they're not going to be able to hold on to this top floor perhaps as long as they would have liked. That's where the Goyo is going to be coming in with those Vulcan canisters to really burn that time, both literally and metaphorically. As you can see there, Nerd wants to make the hop in, but isn't going to be able to do much by getting into that position just because of the fire on the floor. Is eventually going to be thinking out hopping in anyway, going to do so synchronized. But what's this? Two people from Aspire. They fall. Casper goes down. Carol's on the floor. Zuo is able to answer back with an impact grenades. Gets caught on the edge of the table, and well, the frag, it's going to force him out of position straight into the line of sight of Vod, who makes things 3 versus 3. We are even, but there's still a downed player on Aspire, and he's in no man's land. Carol is not being able to be recovered from this one, I don't think. So it's effectively 2 versus 3 now for the side of Aspire, unless a really successful and quick retake can come in here from the defense. But I don't think they're going to be doing that one. Instead, Shumisu, you've been playing tight on the window, catching anyone on the rappel, deciding to hop in, but sees Pizza outside. Intel going to be given away, and he's anticipating the player from Aspire to push now. Anticipating, here comes the other player, here comes Blackbeard. Gonna try and burn that time, but I think instead you're better off just to try and hide. Gonna spray some bullets into the feet of Nerd, does a lot of damage, but man advantage still the way of SYNQ. Drone is gonna confirm the position. And we're all rocking a hard place here. Shimizu is finally gonna fall to the frag grenade, leaving just poor old Zaka 3 versus 1.
Yeah, Zaka, the Valkyrie here in the 1 versus 3 situation, has already used the C4 as well, so only has the guns to her disposal at this moment. But the time slowly starting to work in her advantage. There's only 30 seconds remaining, so the time slowly starts working towards her. But with free attack, things are still going to be extremely difficult. A team kill, unfortunately. That's huge here for the side of Team Aspire, or terrible for the side of SYNQ, as they're now finding themselves in a 1 versus 1 situation. But luckily Pizza is able to make up for his mistake, find the kill onto the Valkyrie, and saves his team by putting another round here on the board and putting the score on a 4-4. Nice save, which almost would have ended this, as a big disaster here.
I think that would have just been another fumble, as you said. That final round of the half, the previous half, but that was a bit of a fumble from SYNQ, and I was worried we were about to see history repeat itself. Unfortunately, for their sake, didn't quite do so. I mean, you did lose the Blackbeard to that team kill, and that's the one operator you kind of want in that 1 versus X situation, just to be able to capitalize on that man advantage you have. It's very difficult to think clearly when you've got the pressure of that shield in your face. So, for SYNQ and, well, for Pizza, great job to save the round, bring it back, and we're now at 4-4, where things are level, and the defenses of Aspire, they're not looking too great. Or they're your 2 primary bomb site choices. They're going to be giving Reading Fireplace yet another go, not opting to choose the other second floor site, nor opting to go down towards the basement. And similarly, not opting to go back up towards the top floor. I think, good call from Aspire. I think they think that one was close, and I think they can take it this time.
Yeah, with this 4-4 even score, things are definitely getting very tense and tricky between these two teams. But so far, Team SYNQ on playing on the offense 2 rounds in a row is definitely looking pretty strong and pretty favorable for now. And the question is whether they are able to get more rounds on the board. Once again, we're going to a similar bomb site that we have already seen here before from the side of MG Aspire. The first attempt, they were unsuccessful on defending. Hopefully for a second attempt, they will be able to do better, but that remains to be seen. The members of Team SYNQ already heading their way to up to the building, already getting in the first bit of positions, and likely soon we will start seeing them making the first moves, as the first character barricades seemingly already are being broken.
Yeah. I mean, that's the power of that Sledger, I suppose, isn't it? It's the one thing he's really great at dealing with, those castle barricades. Take them out in 1 hit, One quick sweep and they're off the board, and you've got so much of that utility. You know, you've got 25 hits on that thing. You're never really going to use them all in a round realistically. For the side of Aspire, I think this time they need to worry about this earlier, and that's, I think, where they've sort of had these games slip away from them in regards to you've lost the players upstairs very, very early on, and teams think that they're just able to capitalize on that man advantage that they build early on into the round. Carroll is going to be droned out towards the top of white. They're going to be forced to just hold on to this angle and decide how they want to play this. Casper now going to be left last one standing on the top floor for the side of MG Aspire for the time being.
Yeah, this is one of those rounds again where in the very first half of the round, or almost half of the round, not a single bit of damage has been dealt yet, but that's about to be changed as just a fraction of vods there being exposed through the hatch. Nice bit of damage there being dealt. Unfortunately, not that much to actually take him out, to put him in real danger, but at least it's going to help out in future gunfights, and it's going to push him off that strong position that he was trying to hold. For now, we just reached that 1 minute and a half, 1.5 minute mark. We just have gone past it, and the attackers are still trying to make a full way in, trying to localize those defenders, trying to find them, trying to push them out of the positions. So far, it's a pretty slow approach.
It's definitely a pretty slow approach. It's definitely more successful so far this time from the side of Aspire. They're able to make these things work, and they're holding on to this top floor for a bit longer. That is unfortunately going to end as Casper does go down, but it's definitely in a much more recoverable position this time. I can definitely see the revive coming on through for the side of Aspire. Zaka just making sure it is clear for their Kazuto there. Going to go for the revive, going to get the player up. So things are 5 versus 5. We are equal in the lobby, but of course, you've been downed, you're revived, you are on that low HP of only 20. So it will only take a bullet to shut Casper out the lobby. But one bullet's all Solo going to be needing to take down Carroll. Man advantage flips the way towards Team SYNQ, but Casper answers back with one of their own. Pizza stuck outside, going to be droning in, and well, this one is 30 seconds left on the clock. 8 players left standing. Make it 7 as Pizza finds a pick on towards Shimizu. I've got a feeling things are about to get really scrappy in the final 20 seconds of this round. Solo going to be storming in towards Train Museum, able to get a pick on towards Casper, but it's the player on the bottom of white putting on a lot of pressure. And there you go, Zaka finds one, and Team SYNQ, they're a bit all over the place, but they are getting the kit down, they are making it successful, and they're going to be able to do so. SYNQ find themselves 3 attacking rounds in a row, and you've got to wonder, Aspire, you've had 3 defenses, you're halfway through the half now, and they've not really found too much success at all.
No, so far things definitely not going well for Aspire. I was quickly checking. Yeah, there was the map pick of Team Aspire, so they didn't have a choice here to which side they wanted to start. But the offense here just looking so good for Team SYNQ. Team SYNQ really doing a great job here on the offense. 3 rounds in a row, really starting to make set the tone here that they are just potentially a bit of a better team that people might have expected them to be. And they're definitely proving themselves. And by just gaining this advantage by winning 3 rounds in a row, it's also starting to probably have a toll on Aspire here. Like they might not be able to, might not feel that sure about themselves anymore. They're probably starting to feel the pressure. But hopefully now by going to Kitchen, I believe this was the first time they're going to Kitchen.
Yep, first time they're bringing Kitchen.
First time going to Kitchen. So yeah, hopefully this is going to bring them some new opportunities, some new possibilities, and some new success. Because I would love this to see this match go to a 5-5 scoreline.
100%. Love to see this one go a bit closer, and hopefully maybe even towards an overtime, dare we say. But my concern here with bringing out Kitchen so late is if you bring this out and you win it on hit, you're not going to be able to pick it again with the in-it during this half. After this, you only got 2 more rounds of the half at a maximum, so even if Aspire are able to win this, they're going to have to go back towards one of the sites that they found unsuccessful so far. Those being 1's Cocktail, 2 towards Reading Fireplace. So, as I say, even if they win this Kitchen, it's close, but they're going to have to win one of the sites they've lost, and that's an ask. But we've got to get there first to get through this round. Bit of a different operator lineup coming in from Aspire, perhaps taking a bit of a note off of Team SYNQ, leaning on towards the Echo, leaning towards that Clash pick as well. First time we're seeing her brought on this bottom floor site.
Yeah, at the same time from Team SYNQ, we're seeing both the Jekyll and the Dokkaebi being brought on this clear. I mean, last time when we saw Team Aspire playing on the offense, they also brought some of those operators, especially the Jekyll, being very effective on making sure there's not any roamers lurking around, going for surprise later. And I think with these operators to be able to clear the building fairly quickly, we can already see some attackers playing on the on the middle floor of this bomb site, and from there they can already start putting pressure on the bomb site. And yeah, this way they're already having a very quick clear, like already very quickly inside of the building, getting in the positions where they want to be, starting to make the verticality very soon. They need to be careful of the player on red stairs though, as he's very close to potentially go for flank here for a nicey surprise. But with the bug already inside of Trains, the first damage is going to be done very soon here.
Yeah, there you go, exactly as you call. Vods going to be the first one to fall. Aspire, they get the opening pick and a bit of early success in this round. Sees the second, is able to find it, but unfortunately, there's no more bullets in the SMG-11. Bit it matters not you're able to get away with your life there. Shimizu, he's going back for more, tripling the round. Zaka finds one, and Team SYNQ, they're locked out of this round. You said you wanted a 5v5, and I've got a feeling it might just be inevitable at this point.
Team Inspire doing this exactly at the right moment when they needed to do it. They were on a 3-round loss streak, and now they finally have broken the streak. They finally secured their very first defensive round win, put the score on an equal 5-5, and now they're finally, hopefully, getting a bit of momentum going in their favor again to start while fighting back against Team SYNQ. A 5-5 scoreline, meaning that the upcoming 2 rounds are either going to give us a winner for this map or are going to bring us overtime. It really comes down to who wins the upcoming 2 rounds, or whether both win one each. But we'll see how things are going. But yeah, very nice and close game so far.
Indeed, way more close than I think either of us would have anticipated this one being. You know, on paper, this is the 3rd seed versus the 14th seed. We're still early on in Swiss. Things should be one-sided at this point in the competition. You know, we're expecting to see some quicker matches. Monday, Tuesday definitely proved that we will be seeing some quicker 2-0s. But this one is delivering so far, and whoever wins this round will have an opportunity to close Cafe out in regulation. Of course, that will be huge to be able to do so. You know, it's best of 3. It becomes almost an endurance as you get further and further on into it. You know, you've got to start as you mean to go on for Aspire. It's a decent start for their attacks. Pretty good attacking half of them. Defenses, though, they've not been so successful on. However, they won one on Kitchen, sorry. They've now got to try and win some of these sites that they lost earlier on. They're going to be given Cocktail a go, which was the first one they played and went the way of Team SYNQ when it did.
Yeah, they played it once, they lost it once. Hopefully this time it's going to go a little bit better here for them. So let's see how things are. We'll be going, I think setup-wise it's almost a bit similar. I don't think there's too many big changes here. So it will really just come down to the execution and just making sure they don't get opening kills, and they get opening kills instead. That's what exactly happened on the previous rounds, especially with Shimizu getting that triple kill very early on, being super effective for his team. If they can pull this off again, they will definitely have a good chance here. But if they don't, and Team SYNQ get a proper entry and get close to the bomb site, then they can do some real damage.
100%. I mean, the last time Team SYNQ played this was that very execute-heavy round we saw in the first round half when it just stormed in about 30 seconds into the round. It was over very, very quickly. Slightly different story this time around. We're at least going to be a minute in towards the round before things kick off. And as you can see here, Team SYNQ, they've made their way on towards the top of Red Stairs, are looking towards to make that clear happen. But for the time being, things are going to be fairly quiet in Cafe. No one really looking to get too aggressive early on in this round. And, well, have to wait and see how things are going to play out. Utility just being cleared out by the side of SYNQ. They're doing their homework. They're making sure the defense have as little possibility as possible. But here comes the asphyxiating bolt. Here comes the pressure. Beautiful use of utility there. Take down Casper. Carol's going to fall. Shimizu's going to fall. And Team SYNQ, well, a bit of momentum from Kitchen might have been what they needed. A much better take on towards this top floor this time around. And well, just like that, Team SYNQ with the first flawless they've had all game. They answer back and they get an opportunity to close this one out in regulation.
Yeah, what a statement made here by Team SYNQ. After losing one offensive round and giving Aspire the first defensive win after winning 3 rounds before, they had just shown you're lucky. This is only 1 round. It doesn't mean anything. We can easily learn from our mistakes and do better. And that's what they've just shown. Perfect offensive rounds, really well done, really well executed. The prep they took the time with the preparation, but it all paid off. They were in the right positions where they needed to be. The utility they wanted to deal with was already dealt with, and they made their move, and everything just went so beautifully well for Team SYNQ. Beautiful attacking strategy, one that I love to see in this case. This also put Team SYNQ here on the map point situation where they just only need 1 more round here to win this very first map. Their opponent's map pick, by the way, which would allow them to secure the very first map point. But at the same time, MG Aspire, they have shown they are capable of winning defensive rounds, even though it's very difficult for them. And it was on the kitchen bomb side, one that they are not allowed to go to at the moment. But at the same time, they have shown us that it's possible for themselves, that they are able to win defensive rounds. And if they do, they will bring this map to 6-6 and will bring us to overtime, where basically everything gets reset, and both teams will have new and fair and equal opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 2 flawless rounds in a row now, 1 going either way. Of course, Kitchen, Aspire, flawless down there, SYNQ, flawless on the top floor yet again. Really great execute strategy that they have up there. that 3-2-1 with the Capital, with the Blackbeard, working in tandem with each other. Rest of the team supporting the backline coming from Sagai. It's a beautiful strategy. It seems to really, really be something that Aspire just unable to make any success against. Cocktail not going their way either of the 2 times it's been played. And I do worry, I think, for Aspire. They've played this objective. This will be the 3rd time they've brought out Reading Fireplace, and they weren't able to make it work either time. It's been close. It's definitely the closest of the 2 sites that they've been losing this half. So, as you said, it's a possibility for this one to go towards overtime. But Team SYNQ, I mean, you come off a flawless, you do have that momentum in your favour.
And they definitely do, and they're feeling themselves in a bit more of a comfortable situation. They have room for mistakes. Yes, you don't want to go to overtime at this point, but losing this upcoming round isn't the worst thing. Well, of course, for MG Aspire, it is. So it's really like MG Aspire needs to give everything that they have in their power here to win their own map pick. Because if they don't, then we will go to they will go to their opponent's map pick, which of course is not ideal for them. Right now, the members of Team SYNQ, they're just mostly looking for a way in. They're not doing too much. Like, yes, we can see already one up at Sigga Shop already being inside, but that's not where the bomb set is located. So it's just, well, yeah, like I said, Team SYNQ taking their time, getting ready to take care of the first bits of defensive utility, a bit of defensive setup for where they can start making their move.
Exactly. Getting rid of that utility is going to be the key. Casper, however, is going to be fallen, taken down with all of that top floor utility. And I think you saw there in the bottom left as we were sort of talking, Shimizu was running out, trying to get aggressive. And I think Aspire's strategy in this round is going to be aggression, trying to get the man advantage into their favour very, very early on. That's what they're going to be doing. We're able to find one, almost catches a second on the C4 and falls brought down to quite low HP. But for the time being, things are 4-4, minute left on the clock, still plenty of time for the attackers to work with. However, you haven't lost to Blackbeard, your frontline member of that attack, and now you just lost the switch as well. But Pizza answers back with one of their own. Gets big on towards Kazuto, however, Shimizu with the C4. Second one is the charm. Second C4 does find unfalls, and now it's 2 versus 3 for Pizza and Solo to keep this one lock down and get this one over the line in regulation. 35 seconds, and well, I don't know how this one's going to be faring out, but Pizza's still outside the building, has to recover the diffuser, and now you're looking towards that clock at the top of your screen going, this one might be tricky, but Solo opens up the round, does get a pick towards Carol, going to force the player backwards with the frag grenade. However, also, Vulcan Canister denies that entrance in that Vulcan Canister. Maybe the saving grace there for Zaka. Player's not going to be pushing through towards the corridor, sees the player, but Solo finds it, and there you have it. Team SYNQ, they close it out in regulation. And well, I've got a feeling this series, it might be heading the way of Upset Valley. Of course, all of the expectations were on Aspire to take this one, but Team SYNQ, they steal their opponent's map pick from them. Sure, they do it at the brink of regulation, but they do it nonetheless. They find themselves with a 1-0 lead as we head ourselves in towards second map, and that is of course going to be Consulate.
Yeah, so this was a very beautiful first map here for today. The map pick of Team Aspire going to the hands of Team SYNQ, especially also going against the odds of the predictions that have been done both by production and our community. So really, Team SYNQ will bring us a bit of a surprise here, but they have definitely earned it. It was a beautiful, beautiful map here from them. They really showed that they were capable of both on the defense and the offense, especially that they were a very good team. And well, they definitely managed to surprise us. So I'm actually very excited for this upcoming map, which is going to be Consulate, the map pick of Team SYNQ, like I said. And I'm very curious to see how that will go, because I think in some ways maps could play out somewhat similarly, like especially when it comes down to the offense. Yeah, of course, everything remains to be seen. Like Team Aspire still statistically from the qualifiers the better team, but Team SYNQ have just really shown that they are definitely capable, which hopefully will bring us another very close map.
Yeah, hopefully so. And I think I look towards the sides as well. It's going to be Team SYNQ who are going to be starting on the attack, but more so it's the other way around where Aspire, they're going to be starting on the defenses. Now, they've just had not the greatest of defensive halves. It was a 5-1 half in the favour of SYNQ on the defense of Cafe. So they've just lost 5 defenses. Now they're going to be heading towards the Consulate defense. So definitely maybe a bit of worry of some waters for that one. And they can't let the momentum that SYNQ built up towards the end of that first map carry on into the second. Because if they do, I've got a feeling this one could be a 2-0 upset for Team SYNQ.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely very excited for this upcoming map to happen. For now, we're just gonna have a little break of about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll be back with the second map for today. So don't go too far. Grab a drink, grab a snack, visit the toilet, and we'll see each other very soon with the second map of MG Aspire versus Team SYNQ. And welcome back, everyone. We are back here for the second game of today, or actually second map, as I should say. It's still Team MG of MG Aspire versus Team Sync. And Travi, we actually had a bit of a surprising first
We
match
did.
today. We started with Cafe Dostoevsky, and many people were expecting MG Aspire to win that map, especially as it was their own map pick, but actually ended in the 7-5 in the favor of Team Sync.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw predictions at the start of the game. 86%, I believe, was the number. 86% were in the favour of voting that Aspire were going to be the victors of this series. Now, of course, it's only one map. We still got Sync still need to get one more over the line. Of course, it's a best of 3. But as we toss things into map number 2 here, Consulate. So, couple maps needed to get Sync need to get another map over the line. If a reverse sweep is wanted, it's now the time to do so. MG Aspire need to get Consulate over the line, and as you see there, 86% believe this one is going to be going the way of Aspire. Team Sync only got 14% of the community vote. We're going to have to wait and see whether they're going to be able to cause an upset or not. Day number 3 here of Season X. Blackbeard going to be the first operator, going to be banned out yet again. Same one from the previous map. Montaigne as well. The Shields, despite being taken out, were dominant on the attack the entire time through. So it's not really a surprise, I think, that, but 2 of them are going to be taken out here during the ban phase, nice and early on, as the second ban here coming through for Aspire. They're going to see which defender it's going to be. Just a couple of seconds here, but as I say, those Shields, ever so dominant. Montaigne was banned before. Blackbeard was used extensively throughout the game. Azami going to be taken off the board as well. Yet again, something from the previous matchup now. History's to repeat itself. It's going to be a mirror coming in for our third operator ban. Either way, 3 strong operators taken out of the pool so far, and 4th is coming in any second now. And there you have it. It's going to be the Fenrir. Not going to be quite the same as the previous one, but I think with all the doorways and sort of twists and turns of Consulate, definitely see the utility and the value of taking the Fenrir off the board. And to be fair, it's something that was used extensively during Cafe. So yet again, it's really a responsive set of bans from these teams, mainly Aspire. They're responding with these bans kind of to what really they must feel obviously impacted them and caused their struggles in the first map.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many.
This is the map pick of Team Sync, where Team Aspire had the choice of which side they wanted to be starting on. They've chosen to be on the defense here, even though the defense wasn't that good on Cafe Dostoevsky. By the time that they picked this defense, of course, they still had to play Cafe as well. So they weren't even aware that the defense on Cafe wasn't going to be that great. And hopefully things are going to be better here, because they have, of course, picked it for a reason. Hopefully they have been able to, well, had a talk together between the 2 maps when they had a little bit of a break, to, well, get things back together, find a way on how to actually counter Team Sync, to actually do a better job. And actually, I would love to see our first free mapper here for the competition, for the season, happening tonight. This will be a perfect match to start doing so. But at the same time, Team Sync, it would be a great storyline if Team Sync is able to win this 2-0, as they were the underdog, technically, based on the qualifier standings.
Yeah, but of course, based on the qualifier stats, something we were talking a little bit about during the break. During Season 9, MG Aspire, they fell in the Swiss stage of the competition, so the first sort of half of the competition, whereas Team Sync at the time, Project Black X, a couple of the players from there, they were actually made it a little bit further in the competition. They made it through towards the first round of playoffs, so they were eliminated, the first set of teams to be eliminated from said playoffs, but they did make it further in the competition. They're some of the players from Team Sync when compared to Aspire. So maybe the qualifiers, perhaps for the side of teams, it takes a little bit of time to maybe warm into these games, and perhaps as the tournament goes on, they get a bit stronger, and perhaps the qualifiers, maybe a bit of a warm-up, or maybe they're hiding strategies for the qualifiers.
Yeah, but then also one other thing, of course, to take note of is that Team Aspire did done actually quite a lot of roster changes. The roster is barely the same as it once used to be. Of course, Carol and Casper, the owners and the brothers behind the team, they of course have still remained there. And also Shimizu was already there for some time. But basically every single other player is completely new to the team. So quite new roster, which of course gives MG Aspire a nice opportunity to also do better. But as their first player, unfortunately, already lost their life. Zaka, a pretty significant player for the previous map, has already fallen very early on. We are already starting with a 4 versus 5 in the favor of Team Sync.
Yeah. And change, I mean, is sort of going all around here. His operator lineup's very different to what we saw on Cafe. Of course, it is an entirely different battleground, and I think Consulate had these different asks. You can see here, playing it with the shotgun, very tight angles, very powerful here on Consulate, being able to play these tight angles. Cafe, in comparison, is maybe a little bit more of an open map, a lot more longer sideways, especially on that top floor. But in comparison here on Consulate, Shimisu's doing a great job of holding on to admin here. A lot of pressure coming in from the death marks, but SYNQ not really able to capitalize perhaps on the utility. Still have 2 frag grenades in pocket to try and force him out of position, but Shimizu doesn't seem to want to go anywhere at all.
Now, Shimizu is in a very strong position. Yes, he's very vulnerable, as he could easily be swarmed by attackers, but as long as only one attacker is trying to hunt him, he's still pretty safe against the Survivor quite long. However, vods getting a beautiful double kill on both Shimizu and one other player after Carol got a kill onto Nerds. But now we're finding ourselves in a 2 versus 4, easily turned into 2 versus 3, 2 versus 2, as Carol gets a kill and Kazuto got a kill, but vods with a kill onto Kazuto. This Carol all left standing in a 1 versus 2 situation. 35 seconds on the clock, so there's very little time for the attackers, and as Carol gets the 3rd kill, it's now a 1 versus 1 situation. Diffuser in hands of vods, however, and he is finding himself in the bomb site, so he could go for a plant. Does not have any of his line scans remaining, however, so that would have been the perfect opportunity to go for a plant. And right now he's taking his opportunity anyway. Carol somewhat being aware of this potentially happening. There's yellow pinks coming out. There's a big hole right in the wall, so you would have just seen the Lion for a short amount of time. Lion doing damage there onto the defensive player and getting the kill with the headshot onto Carol, and therefore securing the very first offensive and very first round here of the map for Team SYNQ, putting the score on 0-1.
And what about that? A quad kill for the side. Vod to open that one up. I mean, you got to say, that's an impressive start towards Consulate, and the defensive woes for MG Aspire, they continue. Some really great individual play there, as we said, from Shimizu, doing such a great job to hold on to admin. Unfortunately, it's in the center of the castle, and unfortunately, all the walls kind of crumble around him. As Team SYNQ, they win the 1s early on into the round. Vod just explodes on towards the side of Aspire, and they're unable to really find too much of an answer back. It does end in a 1 versus 1. That's really off the back of Carol there, getting a triple kill in the round, but unfortunately, not able to win out the 1v1 at the end when it mattered most. And no matter how close the round was or one-sided it was, a round is a round, and Team SYNQ, they find themselves with a 1-0 advantage going into the second round.
A bit of a statement again from Team SYNQ here. After they won the very first map with a 7-5 score, they are now getting the very first point on the second map as well, making a nice start to potentially end this match up in a 2-0 score in their favor. However, of course, again, this is only the first round. It's Aspire on the defense. They should have some pretty good opportunities here, even though they struggled on Cafe on the defense. So hopefully they are able to get the things back together and, well, give us a map at least as close as Cafe was. Like, we started out with a 1-1 scoreline for the very first 2 rounds. Would love to see that happening here as well. But that's really up to these teams, of course.
Of course, and I don't want to say momentum is playing a factor in. I think that is where it's coming from. Team SYNQ, of course, they finished Cafe on their attacks. A very successful attacking half, 5-1 for their attacking half. So really great job for them from doing so. So Aspire, they're going to be continuing on the defense where they only got 1 out of the 5, 1 out of 6 if we're tracking across both maps here. Momentum and pressure is very much in the favor of Team SYNQ at the minute. They're quite comfortable, and I think, you know, they probably know going into this one, they are the underdogs. They've got the less favourable seeding, didn't have as great of a performance in the qualifiers. Of course, they got here, they did a great job to do so, but they didn't end it with such a high seeding as perhaps you saw Aspire get. And mid-round barricade coming through, but SYNQ, they're definitely, they feel like they're in a bit of the driver's seat for this matchup right now, and I think that open, that is exactly what they were looking for on Consulate. It was a massive statement round. Beautiful free cam work. Just like to shout that one out as well.
Yeah, definitely some very nice observing work done by our observer Ogon. Right now was being our observer, and while Rowan is our producer, so that's also the replays being done by him. But it was also very nice first, well, a lot of damage that being done onto Solo with the frost mats, nicely placed by the window for Solo forgetting to check for the trap, and, well, unfortunately falling for it and getting damaged quite a bit, of course, being very low right now after he used the self-res. But this round continuing the 5 versus 5 situation, not a single person losing his life, even though it's only 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining at this point. So this round is going to end very much in a bloodbath very soon, which is going to start very soon. But attackers are already getting pretty close. They're basically ready in position, just getting ready to make their move, but they need to get this opening kills, they need to get the momentum going in order to do so. And so far that's not happening, as now finally Lion does get his very first kill there onto Kazuto. Lots of damage is being done on either side. C4 being thrown here from the mute, but unfortunately not connecting.
And yeah, very textbook attack so far from Team SYNQ here, but it seems to be working out in their favour. The Blitz just storming. I mean, you can ban 2 of the shields, a triple for VOD, 7-0 so far to reverse James Bond. It's all down to Casper, left a sprint across site, Nerd closes it out, and Team SYNQ, well, they're letting the wins they had on Cafe continue here on Consulate. Really great showing there. Much more dominant that time around compared to the first round. And just a beautiful, beautiful textbook attack there, really on towards that top floor. Encirculate, capture, make sure those defensive players don't really have anywhere to go and then just kind of swarm in. Exactly how they play it. Team SYNQ played that one to perfection. Sure, lost a couple of players along the way, but end of the day, they got the round over the line yet again, and it's finally going to be that bit of a change up coming through here for the side of Aspire. They fourth in that top floor. They said, right, we tried it twice, it's not working. We need something else. We need to give something else a go, because otherwise, you know, you're staring down a 3-0, you're staring down whatever scoreline, not where you want to be, especially on the defense constantly. So, head down towards the basement.
Yeah, and I was just having a quick look at Season 9 of ESA Cup, which of course happened about half a year ago from this point on. And I was also looking at the Swiss stage, and there was also there the third round of the third match of Swiss, where we also had the third of qualifying team play against the 14th qualifying team. That was also the very first match that actually went to the underdog team, the lower qualified team as well. So there was Crown Zero winning against Ghost Army. Actually, the same teams who actually played yesterday. That was actually an interesting one. It was a 1-2 score in the favor of Crown Zero, where yesterday Ghost Army then won 2 against them. But yeah, the whole point I'm trying to make was it took 3 rounds of 3 matches before we saw an underdog win a matchup. And well, right now Team SYNQ already securing the first point, having a very good start on the second map as well. It might just happen one more time.
Yeah, I mean, you say third match upset buff. Definitely can see that one happening. Team SYNQ 2-0 up so far. Really great showing so far here on Consulate. Doing things by the book, and I think something I want to highlight here in this round is 2 of the shields been banned. Blackbeard Montaigne taken off the board. They're still playing around the shields. Of course, you only have 4 operator bans in Siege. You can only ban 2 attackers at a given point. So regardless of what you do, you're still going to have to play against the shields, and I've got a feeling it'll be something we'll probably see in the second half as well. Both these teams very comfortable playing towards the shields, but continuing to use that blitz, and I've got a feeling a lot of pressure going to be coming in from the lineup here of SYNQ. That Ram provides a lot of vertical pressure. That Deimos, those death mark trackers, force you out of uncomfortable positions, and if you want to hold your ground, they're likely going to send Pizza in on the blitz, charging your way. And well, if we're talking about sort of team as a whole, how can we not talk about vods? 7-0 at the minute.
Yeah, 1 minute and 40 seconds now remaining, and still every single player alive. Carol being very low on HP, however, being extremely close to death. Just one bullet will easily take him out. At least he's still in play, and with 1 minute and 30 seconds, he can still do lots for his team. As long as he's holding a gun, he can still be useful. So for now, attackers are making their way down to the bomb site. Garage is being opened up as well, so likely the defenders will get a lot of pressure very, very soon. As Onfos gets the very first kill there onto Carol. That's the mute of the bandit who was so low HP, now finished. And with this 4 versus 5 advantage has started here for Team SYNQ. Was already getting, like I said, pretty close to the bomb site, just waiting for potentially getting 1 more kill or so, and finding a proper opportunity to make their way into the bomb site to do some proper damage. We can also see Jacko going from all the way the other side to do some nice distraction as I'm flanking from behind. And as Unfalls finds his second kill, it's now 3 versus 5.
Make it a 2 versus 5. Solo finds enough, really lining up dominoes here, Team SYNQ. You saw them lining up around the bomb site, exactly how they want to take this one, and finding success in doing so. Shimisu's now all that's going to be left standing between Team SYNQ and their third round. Does have the vertical, but Unfalls is up there as well. Sees the player and is able to take it, and just like that, Team SYNQ, they're starting to run away with this one a little bit here on Consulate. 3 consecutive rounds and seemingly getting stronger and stronger by the minute. And for MG Aspire, these defenses on both maps really not working out so well. 8-1 record so far on the defenses this series.
Yeah, Team SYNQ doing incredibly good at the moment. Just really not giving Team Aspire any space to actually be successful. Also, with this 0-3 scoreline, this would be the moment for MG Aspire to wake up, to actually make a difference. Because if they don't do this anytime soon, they're going to have a very unfavorable scoreline once we go to the roll stop and go into the second half of this match. So MG Aspire, they need to do something rather sooner than later, because if they, yeah, like I said, otherwise things are going to only get worse and worse for them. So yeah. Team Aspire not looking too good at the moment, but it's not too late to save it yet.
Things are looking a bit bleak, but I'm going to throw in a little positive stat in there. In their previous defensive half, the way it worked out was Aspire, they played the first site, they played their primary bomb site. They played it twice. They lost it twice and then swapped to a secondary bomb site. They then swapped their tertiary bomb site, exactly the same way things have played out here on Consulate. That tertiary bomb site on Cafe was Kitchen, which you may remember, they won that one flawlessly. That was a flawless round going the way of Aspire. So that tertiary bomb site really worked for them on Cafe, and for the sake of Aspire and for the hope of a close series, we can hope that stat line translates here over on towards Consulate.
Yeah, for now it's of course still Aspire here on the defense, so we're just really waiting for them to make the proper move to really have a defensive favorable round, to have some success, not getting the opening kills but get the opening kills instead, and that's all what we're waiting for Team Aspire to just wake up a little bit more and do better. I would also expect potentially, if they don't do so, the tactical timeout to come out any moment in the near future. But for now, Team Aspire is going to give all of them the power to just to do better and to stop Team SYNQ in the track. But Team SYNQ already making a pretty aggressive move. Light Scan coming out, barricades being opened up. You can also see a blitz run around on the outside as well, who's going to make his way into the building and create absolute havoc amongst the defenders. So the defenders are definitely up for a very big challenge.
Casca's going to take a little bit of damage there from the outside window, but still going to remain standing, still going to remain with his life, and most importantly, the gun. Of course, you can use that to answer back. Going to be challenging there on towards Solo, but it's going to be Katsu. Zuto elsewhere to lose his life. Zaka falls as well, and it's just not looking great for the side of Aspire right now. They're in a 3 versus 5. Still do have a C4 in the pocket on the side of Shimizu, but as their teammates fall around them, does find one, does answer back. Makes it a 2 versus 4, but you can see there the drone comes in. He's going to throw the C4 up, but it gets shot out of midair, I think. Unfall's able to catch that one. Not able to make much success of it, and Casper got the choice. Do you go for the retake on towards the top floor, or do you just try to hold on to West Corridor with everything you've got? Shimizu on the objective, trying to play from these vertical angles, but Team SYNQ, they're looking in prime position to really take this round. They've got plenty of time as well. Minute 15 left on that clock, and it's all now down to Shimizu yet again to try and keep this one on the side of Aspire. And Team SYNQ, they're just going to continue to start storming in. You've got a blitz in your face and you're unable to find anything. Pizza finds it. And Team SYNQ, they're 4-0 up now and starting to get a bit worried.
Yeah, being at 0-4 is one of those moments where you're starting to question yourself, like, what are we doing? Why isn't it working? Why is the other team so much more successful? What are we doing wrong? This would be a good moment for a tactical timeout, ready from Team Aspire. Doesn't seem like it is coming out yet. They might be saving it for at least one more round, or might not want to use it at all. Some teams just don't use it. But yeah, an 0-4 is definitely something to worry about, and this would be a very good moment for them to do something about it. In terms of bomb sites, they have tried 3 out of 4. No, 2 out of 4 actually. No, 2 out of 4 only, right? Or 3.
They've tried top floor twice, basement once, and piano once. The only one they've not tried yet is the split side.
Right. And that's one of those bomb sites that I would love to see in the qualifiers. We have seen it quite a bit, even though it's like one of the lesser favorable bomb sites. Only teams who are really, really prepared for the bomb site dare to go there. But then, of course, the advantage is that teams will go there as a defense that often attackers don't really know how to properly attack it. And that's something that we beautifully have seen. I believe it was, qualifier 2 was when High Bear and Poopa Bop were casting the match. It was actually a beautiful match, and I believe that was actually Team SYNQ who was playing there. So potentially... If I remember correctly, then once we go to see Team SYNQ go to defense, I would not be surprised to actually see that bomb site getting picked.
Yeah, bit of early aggression here. Kazuto looking to get towards the spawn peak. I mean, I'd argue that bottom floor that split objective, that could be a good opportunity for Aspire to perhaps throw in a little bit of a curveball here. I mean, they've been playing what I'd say is fairly standard Consulate so far. There's nothing too crazy in terms of lineups or anything happening. And just as I say that, the craziness starts. Kazuto does find a pick on towards VOD. By far, top performing player on Team SYNQ. 9-2 now. He's going to fall straight on, and that's a great opening to Aspire. Exactly what they're going to be needing in this penultimate round and a half here. Pizza creeping their way up yellow. Carol is going to fall. Zaka doing a little bit of damage, and it's this Deimos shotgun, this sort of lurk play. That's going to be coming in through, and top floor clear starts to happen.
Oh, there's a very nice wallbang there from Nerd onto Kazuto. Zaka, but they respond to finding Pizza and finding Nerd. A beautiful double kill. Unfalls with a kill there onto Shimizu. Brings us on a 2 versus 2 situation with just over 2 minutes remaining. Loads of people already losing their lives very early on in this round. So this is a much more aggressive round compared to the previous ones that we have seen. And both teams are definitely suffering from it. The 2 versus 2 with Zaka being the one who has taken quite a bit of damage there, but not too much anyway. But from here is really the question, what is going to happen next? Defenders are in the bomb side. They kind of have an idea where the attackers might be coming from, but at the same time, the attackers also have a good opportunity to regroup, gain some information, find out where the defenders are playing, find out where the utility is placed and what utility is still remaining, and then go for a proper offensive attempt later on.
Exactly, they've got plenty of time to make this one happen. Minute 30, as you say. So still lots of time to try and find these defenders. And all you've got to do in this situation, as the attackers, as Team SYNQ, you've got to just try and isolate these picks. You've got to say, right, we're going to head towards Casper, going to be the target for the next couple of seconds. Make it a 2 versus 1. Don't give them 2 individual 1 versus 1s. Because as we've seen there, Zaka behind that table in meeting can make some magic happen. Already on a double for the round, looking to make it perhaps a triple. And Solo's going to fall. It's now down to Unfalls. Aspire, this is the closest they've been to a round victory so far. They cannot let this one slip through their fingers, and they're not going to. Zaka, triple on the round, closes it out on Aspire. They get one on the board. Sure, it took it all the way to round number 5 to get them to do so, but at least they're not going to be staring down a 6-0 half. Now we're looking to get a 4-2 here, which might not be ideal, but I definitely think 4-2 is something workable, I think, going into that second half.
Yeah, this will be about the moment where a round can still make a difference. I think the biggest difference right now potentially might be that MG Inspire just gets a boost of morale, like really getting the feeling that, okay, things are actually possible. We can actually do it if we do better, if we do things just like we have just done. So yeah, like I think Aspire now probably does start to feel a little bit better about themselves, even though they're 3 rounds behind their opponents. But they have shown themselves that they are able to do it and that there's a good chance for them to potentially get more rounds. They only have 1 defensive round remaining, however. So if they want to get at least 1 more defensive round on the board, this is the one moment to do it. And a 2-4 is definitely not an ideal score, but it's definitely possible. And then hopefully on the offense, Team Aspire will have some opportunities. Because especially on Cafe, they did do decently well on the offense, especially much better compared to the defense that they had on Cafe. So hopefully for them, there's also some opportunities once they have the role swap. But of course, first, this very last defensive round for them.
Of course, and something I think saw cut in previous rounds, sort of hinted at. What worked very well for Aspire in that previous round was the aggression, was that early spawn peak. And while I don't think they're going to be sticking their heads out of windows anytime soon, you can see there, Kazuto's going to be going on the visual, and that is an operator sort of synonymous with that aggressive play. So you see a visual, it's typically someone lurking around the map, getting aggressive, getting in your face, and you see there the outlines as well towards that top floor, in towards console office. Aspire are going to be wanting to play this one aggressively. Exothermic on the castle barricade, not one you do see every single day. Although, I suppose you look towards the lineup of Team SYNQ, they don't really have any other means of getting it open bar the frag grenades on the side of Nerds. So I guess you got to use what you got to do, but that is obviously going to be a massive burn of utility for the side of Team SYNQ. Of course, if they're unable, they're likely to use that other exothermic to try and get the garage door open. But if it's Bandit tricked off once, well, you're not going to be getting it open for the round. So it's a risk reward, I suppose, using it. But Shimizu getting aggressive early on, exactly what I sort of wanted to see from Aspire in this round, and gets a pick on towards Nerd. Man advantage, MG Aspire.
Yeah, that's a good start for Team Aspire. Exactly what they need just at this final round before the roll swap is to happen. So potentially this could be turned into a 2-4 scoreline, but of course they will need to survive a little bit longer. Team SYNQ is still a force to be reckoned with, especially with the Blitz now being in play. Making his way into the building, he is basically sandwiched between the 2 defenders, but even though he's pointing his back towards one of those defenders, he's not able to secure or not able to get killed, which is miraculously. At the same time, Solo makes use of the perfect distraction that just happened, finds Zaka as well, after Shimizu then finds Unfalls, and this brings us in a 3 versus 3 situation where the HP advantage definitely goes towards the defenders, but the attackers are also playing very aggressively and also have a very good chance to win the man advantage anytime soon. But for now, it's a 3 versus 3 in the favor of the defense.
Yeah, that blitz, I mean, that blitz should have been dead. There was a player in front, player behind. Perfect cross and a perfect C4 from Carroll. Finds one towards Fod, and that's the Fuse of Cold. It is in a decently recoverable position. Of course, the vertical will be able to be used by the defensive to watch now, but Solo's not even going to give Casper the opportunity to do so. Shuts them down. Remaining players for Aspire in towards the basement, and it's all down to Pizza. Caught from behind. Shimizu closes out the round with a swift 2. And Aspire, I think finally we can say they've got the momentum going their way here on Consulate, and it's good that they're ending the half with that momentum, because their attacking half was by far, as you said, that was their better half.
Yeah,
this
was
a better on the attack.
Yeah, they got those 2 rounds not a minute too late here. Turning this into 2-4 makes things look so much better than how they did only 2 rounds ago when it was an 0-4 scoreline. So now with Team Aspire going to the offense, it's all a big question again. How will they do now they have done the role swap? How will they do in the offense? Will it benefit them as well as how it did on Cafe Dostoevsky? But at the same time, how will Team SYNQ do on their own map pick, on their own defense, where they might have a good opportunity as well? It remains to be seen, but now at least a bit of momentum there in the favor of Aspire, a bit of a morale boost as they finally have broken the loss streak and, well, gained a 2-round win streak. So both teams having some pretty good opportunities here, but of course Team SYNQ here in a pretty good situation given the scoreline.
I don't know. I think, as you say, 10 minutes ago or so, we were thinking this one might be done. Team SYNQ are starting to roll away with things. They're 4-0 up. You know, we were thinking, this one might just be upsets happening. But Aspire, they have answered back. Sure, it might not be the best half overall, but they've done it when they've needed to. They've popped the round over the line when was very much required to do so. And while it's not maybe quite as close, I think once Aspire get 1 or 2 more rounds on board, then we can start to look at maybe discussing overtime yet again, being as close as perhaps Cafe was, going all the way to the brink of regulation. At least for the time being, Aspire are back in this one. I know vods definitely wanted to try and challenge that fact from above in towards admin. Going to be spraying on towards the blitz, but luckily he's got a big shield in his face, so he's not going to be taking any damage from that. 2 minutes 30 into the round, and all 10 players left standing, as you sort of expect to see. And Aspire, they're just going to start to work their way through this map now.
And Team Aspire looking for a proper way into the building. We can already see some of the first attackers being inside. Blitz also working his way in, as he can easily destroy those barricades with his ballistic shields. First attacker already located very early on these spiral stairs, being hunted down all the way, as Blitz can easily push down the stairs pretty safely and use the flashing ability to stun the player if he gets close. But at the same time, Unfalls has been able to sneak through all of the chaos, has made his way back to the top floor from where he potentially might not be noticed so far. And if he's able to play on top, he can do some real damage, some real destruction, some real distraction. But no, they seem to know. And Casper is playing right into it, finds Unfalls, takes care of him, and that's one of the roamers taken care of.
And that's a massive blow there to Team SYNQ. Of course, Unfalls in a perfect position to really flip that round on its head for Aspire. But they catch him out on the drone. They catch the pick, and Team SYNQ aren't able to answer back with one. So it is a 5 versus 4 that they're going to have to play into, as the pressure towards the basement now is coming through. Pizza and Solo find one apiece as the blitz falls, and so does Carol. Now it's just 2 versus 4. Casper's still upstairs, and so is Zaka, and they pushed through into the basement. It seems like they just walked into their deaths a little bit here. Team SYNQ more than happy to let Aspire step onto their surf, only to take their lives. Here comes in towards the basement. There's sort of a bit of a square in terms of way of crosses here, but Zaka's going to fall square into a triangle. Does find one back. Doesn't know about the second in service. Has the pings, unfortunately misses the shots. Has to have a quick reload, but also got to be cautious of the ones coming from behind. And, well, forced out of that position. Vods going to close it out, and Team SYNQ, they get themselves around 2 away now from taking the series.
Yeah, so it's the very first defensive round here going to Team SYNQ after they had the roll swap happen. So after they lost 2 rounds on the offense earlier, they are now winning rounds on the defense. Still a 3-round difference between these 2 teams. Team Aspire, unfortunate there for their first offensive round, potentially still being able to do better later on. It started out well for them. I mean, started out decent. They had a good opportunity, but Team SYNQ just fighting back and working things back in their own favor. Right now it's a 2-5 scoreline. We're going to yet another defensive bomb set here, of course, from Team SYNQ, as it just managed to win the very first one. And for this, we are going for the top floor.
Yeah, indeed. It was top floor. It's one of the 2 objectives that Aspire were able to take over the line in the previous half. The other one being towards that basement. So definitely not an indication perhaps of how this round will play, but something perhaps to keep in mind. Operator lineup from Team SYNQ barely stands what we'll see, but of course that X factor is going to be Scopos, and that's going to be FOD. I mean, Scopos is one of those operators where I feel she either has a massive impact on the round or she has nothing at all, and she's just a recruit with sort of very little to bring with it. I feel like there's very few rounds where it's middle ground with that Scopos. And I think for Team SYNQ, their mentality with that pick is go big or go home. FOD's having an absolutely amazing game so far, 12-3, 4 KD. So why not put a player who's doing that well on such an operator that's, sure, high risk, but also can be such a high reward?
Yeah, FOD definitely contributing to the team in a very good way. And he's likely going to only get even more kills on the board right here, as well, he's just seeming so unstoppable, so good. Attackers meanwhile working their way into the building already, of course, from the top floor, one of those key points of entry, as there's just so many windows to repel from and find a way into the building. Just a bit of drone work happening, localizing those defenders. They know there's some defenders playing up top, at least there's 2 in total playing here on this on the side of the map. As Casper gets the first kill onto Solo, it's Unfalls not being stuck here on the corner. They seem to know about his position. Need to be very careful. B is coming in to localize him and push him out of the position. As he gets pushed out, Carol is in the right position, cuts off the rotate, finds the kill, Kazuto with another killer onto FOD. The star player of SYNQ losing his life. Surely Aspire is going to get around here on the board, as they now find themselves in a 5 versus 2.
Well, turns into a 4
Oh,
versus
no.
2. Make it a 3 versus 2. Team SYNQ, they're answering their back into 8 to that one. Sure, a team play from Aspire towards that admin side of the map. It was perfection. It was some really great team play. But Team SYNQ, the remaining guns on there, they're firing on all cylinders for this round. Pizza looking to perhaps take towards vending, but going to be forced back out of position by the Cowan Hives, by the Grims. Nerd also low HP, so it's definitely still advantage towards the way of Aspire. But you know what? They've got plenty of time to work with as well, the attacking side. Really, it is stacked against SYNQ right now, but they've been able to answer back with 2. Hence, I think why the sort of slowdown from Aspire came in. They were looking to continue that momentum they started the round with and then got punished for it, so they're going to slow right back down for the time being. I mean, minute on the clock, the defenders can definitely make this work. Pizza as well still has the C4 in pocket, but it's going to be a very horizontal push here. I've got a feeling from Aspire, all on the top floor, all pushing from towards admin, just perhaps looking to use and really flex that man advantage that they do have. But Pizza and, well, Pizza especially, looking to change that. He's caught out by the flashbang, going to have to fall back. And what's this? Kit's going down. Is there going to be a response from the side of SYNQ? No, there is not. Pizza is going to fall, and so is Nerd and Aspire. Beautiful attacking round from them. They get it over the line, and well, they're not quite tightening that lead they had at starting this half, but they're at least keeping themselves in it for the time being.
I must say, I was almost getting afraid that I was about to cast the curse hit, as I was saying that surely Aspire was going to get this round on the board, but then they suddenly lost 2 lives in a very short amount of time. But luckily, they still managed to pull through and, well, got the actual round on the board. So luckily, no caster curse there. But I was getting a little bit too close for comfort, but in the end, they managed to pull through and do well on their offense. Right now, 3-5 score, 2 rounds behind on Team SYNQ, so it's really going back and forth right now since the rule swap has happened. And the question is, where are things going to be going right now? Again, same bomb site. Team SYNQ just going for a retry, a second attempt. Totally fine. It was very close. It could have easily gone in their favor. Things just went a little bit differently, and that's what they're aiming for this second try.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that round was dictated in that early round, that admin-sided push. You had this issue of where you can see the Team SYNQ players, they were debating, do they hold on to these positions for a little bit longer or do they choose to fall back? They chose to hold on to those positions there, and you saw there Degoyo really got caught out between 3 of the players because just by choosing to hold on that extra 10-15 seconds, you gave the players of Aspire the opportunity to get that beautiful cross-up where he was forced out of position by the Grim. You push forwards into admin, you're caught off by the Ash. You fall forward and fall back, you're caught off by the player on the window. Aspire, some really great team play there coming in from them in the early parts of that round, which is what really set them up for success there. And they'll be looking to do the same here yet again, going in towards round number 9. Of course, the closest they've been so far in this game to having that lead, or at least tying the score, is this 2. So for Aspire, if they want to start closing this one up slightly, because they're running out of time to do so, to be fair, if you keep going round for round for round for round, it will be a Team SYNQ game. Aspire have to be able to get some consecutive rounds on the board here, and you've just won this bomb site on your attack, so why not give it another go and do it again?
Yeah, indeed, that's exactly. I mean, I completely agree. And here with the side of Team Aspire trying to work their way in, we can see a bit of a defensive resistance here. Both Pizza and Solo awaiting those attackers coming in from administration and that area, just waiting for them to make a move. I believe Vods is also playing in that area as well. So at least the 3 defensive members just trying to hold back those attackers as long as they can and potentially get some early kills. But Azaka then gets the kill onto Vods. Once again, Vods getting openly killed, I believe, and already losing his life, putting Aspire in a nice position to make a possible entry into administration anytime soon.
Definitely, you can see here as well, Pizza very limited to movement options right now. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to find one down below on towards Zaka, but he's immediately going to get traded back by Carol, keeping MG Aspire in the numbers advantage. One caught out by the air jab. Unfortunately, Pizza's going to fall like the idea, but unfortunately, the utility was there. The flank watch was there, and speaking of there, so is Casper. Finds one on towards Nerd. Solo's all that's left standing. Currently 6-6 in this matchup. He's going to need to be able to pull this one out. Magic, if he wants to get it over the line, but not going to be able to do so. Aspire, they're starting to chain rounds now. 2 in a row for the first time, or second time this series, sorry. And it's now 4-5. Very close to evening things out here on Consulate.
Yeah, just 1 round behind on their opponent. Very good job so far being done by Aspire since they have gone to the offense. 4-5 scoreline where Team SYNQ, well, just doesn't manage to win that top floor bomb site that they have now gone to twice, which of course makes it also totally understandable. They're going back to Cafeteria Garage, the very first defensive bomb site that they played during this map, and where they actually were successful on their defense. So yeah, why to go for it again? It makes total sense. But also at the same time, Team Aspire was not only 1 point behind the Team SYNQ, is feeling a lot better about themselves. And also, they get a bit of a preview on what kind of defensive setup they might be expecting and how they can deal with it. So also that for them, they might have an opportunity to do better on their offense here and potentially win this bomb set this time around.
Yeah, 100%. They're going to be looking to, of course, change, as you say, change things up. Obviously, you don't want to fall the same mistakes that perhaps you did before for Team SYNQ. I think they'll be feeling quite comfortable going in towards this one. They won it fairly decently last time around, so I don't think they'll be feeling too worried about going in towards this bomb site. Of course, a couple slight changes in the operator lineup, but for the most part, I think things are going to be playing out somewhat similarly to how they did before. Aspire are going to be bringing out the Brava, something that I think they were quite happy to bring out during that first map, and we've seen a bit less of here on Consulate. Those kind of drone utility denial operators, obviously focusing towards real two main pieces of utility you can deal with those electro claws as well as those Grismot mines Ella's bringing, of course. And something, speaking of Ella, she's seen a bit of a resurgence as of late.
Yeah, Ella is also now is on better hands, took a better relationship with her sister, according to the Siege, Siege storyline. But yeah, it's definitely an operator that we do see a little bit more recently. I don't know if there's actually a specific reason for that. Has she seen any buff recently?
I
don't recall.
Think so. I mean, she got the impact grenades back, but that was a while ago now, wasn't it? That was a little while ago. So, not really sure where this little resurgence in Ella has come from, but you know what? She's extremely capable, and I'd say quite a versatile operator for just that kind of roaming, aggressive play. You throw down that utility, it's use and forget, so you don't have to, you can just kind of throw it down, and then you can worry about doing what you want to do for the rest of the round, which is exactly what we see Unfold's doing here. Utility's lightly down towards the basement in the objective. You've got the impact grenades to open up the rotations, catch attackers off guard, and you've got the Scorpion, a phenomenal weapon as well. But Unfolds needs to catch up, get into this round quickly, but direct trade there with Casper leaves Team SYNQ with the man advantage still, so I'd say job is done. And Aspire, they're now in a 2 versus 3, halfway through the round still got that 90 seconds to work with. But they're going to have to get this way, work their way out of this man advantage if they want to take this round as well.
Yeah, Aspire's still in a position where things are definitely possible, especially with our Ram still in play, which can make playing on the bomb set extremely difficult. Carol playing as a Thermite has already opened up the garage, so has a very nice line of sight and entry point into the bomb site. Also, drone work is happening, so that it has now been localized. Oh, sorry, Kate. The Pizza playing as Warden has Solo playing as Warden has now been localized. They know where he's playing, they know how to deal with him. And yeah, with the verticality, they can make it very difficult for those players to play inside, and they need to relocate themselves. But at the same time is continuing to tick off. 50 seconds remaining, bit of pre-firing happening there, almost hitting the face of Carol. But for now, the attackers are just slowly getting closer and getting ready for potential execute.
This is crucial here. Zaka, Bounder says he's going to be marked out by the proximity arm, but that matters not. And here comes Carol. This has to work here. You have to be able to be successful on this execute in towards the objective. Get the smoke grenades, get the plant down. And it's two-pronged approach here for Aspire. You've got one coming in from the front, one coming in from behind. But unfortunately, it's the player behind is all that's left, but not for long. Team SYNQ, they're able to win their primary bomb site choice twice in a row now. They get themselves up onto not only map, but also series point for Aspire. If they want to keep themselves in this one, push us all the way to overtime, and possibly have a chance of playing at the side of map of Bank, they're going to need to win the next 2 rounds.
Yeah, SYNQ finding themselves in a very good position that is definitely making them feel pretty good. Just one more round is needed to win this series. Well, of course, MG Aspire needs to win the upcoming 2 rounds without losing a single round if they still want to have a chance to bring this map to overtime and have a chance to bring us to a 3rd map by winning this map. Well, of course, on the other hand, on Team SYNQ, they can afford to lose a round. There's no problem with that. Even if they lose 2 rounds in a row, we will still go to overtime, and they will still have an opportunity. But they definitely have some room for error. So Team SYNQ feeling pretty good themselves, most likely. Going here to the ground floor. We're still not seeing that other bomb site, the server and Tether's bomb site, which I would have loved to see. I never believe that Team SYNQ is one of those teams definitely capable of playing it. But for tonight, at least so far, we are not seeing it. As potentially Team SYNQ might just be trying to save it for some later games in the competition.
Yeah, perhaps so. Hold on to it for the time being. Don't show if you don't need to, and I think that's a very valid mentality to have. Of course, we're still early days. You know, this is the first time these teams are actually playing in the competition. Now they qualified through, so we're still very early days. Of course, you've got the rest of Swiss to get through. 3 games you've got to win to be able to get through. You can play up to 5 of them. And then, of course, you've got playoffs as well, which is a whole long road of its own. So, early days, you're going to want to be hiding as much as possible. You're not going to want to show everything, and, well, it's for the side of Team SYNQ. Let's see how they can fare on this one. It's the first time they're going to be playing towards Piano on this defense as well.
Yeah, we will see how things go. Aspire here on the offense. They need to win this round and the upcoming round to still have a chance to be victorious in this matchup. So things are crucial. They cannot afford any mistakes. They need to do it right now. So the pressure is on, but at the same time, they have done very well on the offensive far. So there's a very good chance for them to actually win some rounds here. Drone work already happening. They are localizing some of the roams who are not aware that the position has been compromised. So there's a very good opportunity here for the attackers to get some nice early kills. As Ella has now relocated herself, but all attackers are trying to hunt her and trying to find that opening kill and a nice way into the building.
And 100%. I mean, Ella, that player, of course, Vod had such a great start to the game, but has been sitting on that 12 kills for a couple of rounds now, unable to really find too much success in the last few rounds. Of course, luckily Team SYNQ were able to get one, they're able to get the matchup, and this curveball of a different objective may be what SYNQ need for this one. They do find the opening pick. That's going to be Unfall's finding one on towards Kazuto. Halfway through the round now, man advantage is in the hands of Team SYNQ, as they're going to be looking well. They're 4 kills away from closing this one out. But minute 20 left for the attack to make this one work. And Aspire, there's one by the door of the side of the door. Going to be hopping back in. But it's a rotate round, the run out.
No.
3 versus 3 now. Makes it a 2 versus 3. Casper and Zaka are all out left standing. All that keeping Aspire in towards this game. It's going to get one. Keeps things 2 versus 2. Unfalls and Nerd applying pressure on towards these remaining players of Aspire. They've got a minute left, but what's this? It's a flank from Casper. Now Unfalls with it all to do to deny Aspire from getting this round and getting one over the line for the team. 9-8, had a great game so far, but brought down to a sliver of HP. This one's looking unlikely for the side of Team SYNQ. Going to drop back towards it. Sees the player planted, makes it a 1 versus 1. Clock, still 40 seconds here for Casper to work with, but he's going to swing it. He's not going to win it, Team SYNQ. They're going to close this one out. 2-0, 2-0, and it's an upset for their side. And what a game that was for them to kick off Season X.
Beautifully done by Anfalls there. He was in such an unlikely position to win, but he still managed to make it work. A beautiful drop down the hatch, found the person on the plant who was just in such an inconvenient position, as he had just such a good straight line of sight right at the person with the diffuser, and then just getting that second kill as the person immediately exposed himself at that hatch. Perfectly predictable. Very well done from the side of Team SYNQ. And well, surprisingly, actually, yeah, winning this match. I mean, they have already quickly shown us that they're so much more capable than many people were predicting when we were looking at the prediction earlier at the community vote and the prediction of the production team. But yeah, Team SYNQ definitely showing that even though they were only the 14th position of the qualifiers, they're much better than that and definitely capable of beating teams who ended up in the 3rd place.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was a 2-0. We said we didn't want a 2-0 tonight, but I don't think anyone here was expecting a 2-0 to go the way that quite it did.
Definitely not.
Even if Team SYNQ were to take this one, if they were going to win this, in my mind, if they were going to win this, it was going to be a 2-1. Aspire were going to be able to get their map at least over the line, but unfortunately weren't able to do so. It was a 7-5, so, and I believe that's the closest map we've had so far here in Season 10.
Yeah, you might be
7-0s
right.
on the first night, and I believe it was 7-4, 7-3 yesterday as well. So I believe that was the closest map. So closest game we have had so far. But
Yeah.
Team SYNQ, they've done a phenomenal job to cause that upset, to really be able to propel themselves. They've got themselves 1-0 up in the Swiss stage. You know, they're 2 games away from playoffs now. For Aspire, not done yet. Of course, they can still go on to win and go to make playoffs. But they have lost one of those lifelines quite early on.
Yeah. Well, one of the funny things, we can actually take a quick look here at the bracket to kind of see how the updated bracket looks like. Because one of the funny things, if a team that ended lower in the qualifier actually ends up winning, it means that we actually already start knowing our very first matches. Because usually, of course, if the higher qualified team wins, they're all going down to the first spot of a match. And like you already did see with the MVG and Ghost Army, like if Aspire would have won, they would have gone to the first place of the 3rd match. But for now, finally, another team has actually won the match. And we can actually see that MVG will play against Team SYNQ of the very first match of rounds 2 of that 1-0 match. But at the same time, also Team Aspire will play Team 27 in that 0-0 match. But that's all still like in the future, of course. We still have plenty of matches to be played. At least we already know some of the upcoming matches very early on. And well, talking about upcoming matches, we have, of course, one more match coming up for this week, which is going to be tomorrow, which is going to be MG Minions versus MG Akatsuki. I mean, I was already telling you, MG as organization has various console teams. Well, these are 2 other one of those, and very unfortunately for them, they are right up in the very first round against each other. So for the MG organization, tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day. You have to cheer for a team. Another team is going to lose. So it's good
Yeah.
news, bad news at the same time. But either
Yeah.
way, it's Swiss anyway. So losing a round, or like losing a match, isn't the worst thing. Winning a match doesn't mean too much either. It just puts you on a good track or a bit of a harder track. But in the end, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting match,
Yeah.
of course. And with that match tomorrow, we're only halfway of the very first round of Swiss. The next week, we're going to have 4 more matches. But there's still a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, still lots of fun ones. I believe I've got the pleasure of casting that one as well tomorrow.
Yeah.
And as you say, for that MG
Oh,
organisation,
yeah.
regardless of, great news, congratulations, you've won tomorrow. Doesn't obviously we can't say which of these two teams it is going to be yet that will be winning it tomorrow, but someone playing under that sort of MG banner will be able to come away with the victory tomorrow. Looking at, I've got the little predictions poll up here. It's a little bit closer, 78 to 22 tomorrow in the favour of the Minions. So definitely a little bit closer than we were before. And if today's anything to go by, we could be seeing some upsets as well as we head in towards tomorrow. It's going to be a spicy play day regardless, and you never know, we might just see our first free mapper so far here.
Okay, so for now, this was it for tonight. It was an absolute pleasure to cast with you. Of course, here being for the very first time for this evening, Travi. Very nice for you to have you on board.
Much, yeah,
and I'm looking forward to see more of you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to finally sort of get my shoes in it. And what can I say? It's nice to have an upset. It's nice to have a game that's not going on paper to start things off. Keep things interesting. Keep things nice and spicy. Hopefully, see plenty more as we go on here. But that is going to be all I think for tonight. Is there anything else I think you want to add?
No, definitely not. So for now, I wish everyone a very good evening. I thank you all for watching. Also, thank you, Ogon, for observing today, and Raun for producing, and of course, both teams as well. Thank you for this beautiful match here, the 3rd match of ESA Cup Season X. I hope to see you all tomorrow, because tomorrow we have another beautiful match coming up. But for now, everyone, have a very good evening.
Bye.